helps us with a lot of our science and just helps us with hydroponics in total. Then we have an intern, Stephen Paoletti. He's currently on head of research from hydroponics to markets and all the above. And we're currently seeking mentors that have experience within research and design, an engineer who we are currently kind of filling out paperwork with. Have a lot of benefits to them. They have more consistent yields, they save 90% more water, they reduce the amount of pests within a growing area, they reduce disease, they grow indoors, a lot of versatility, increased capacity, you can go vertically so you can go more in less space, and you can control the weather. And there are none of these environmental issues that are associated single non-point source pollution, and the photos on the bottom are toxic algae blooms caused by runoffs from agriculture. So, problems with hydroponic systems, they're very labor intensive. Through customer discovery, we have found that farmers spend 10 to 12 hours a day on and then temperature control in the greenhouses. Since we do use LED lights to grow our plants, greenhouses can get very hot. And so our market size that we're trying to get into for hydroponic farmers is $891 million. These are all the hydroponic farmers in America. This number is growing just as soil becomes less and less productive and more industry become legalized. Hydroponics will continue to grow. So our archetype for who our main customer will be for our hydroponic systems would be someone at Harold's Hydroponics. So they're in between 35 to 55 years old. They're either the CEO or master grower of their operation. They've been in hydroponics for about 5-ish years. They're at an operation that they're looking to expand, they're looking to diversify their crop, and they're looking to grow bigger and better crops. So our system solutions, our first system, it's just a general hydroponic system, pretty easy. We're going to start with 24 plants, and we're just going to start with strawberries, harvesting strawberries. We'll be able to get approximately a pound per plant, so that's about 24 pounds of strawberries within our first harvest. Our second system is going to be a closed system with some automated temperature control, automated pH level, and nutrient control, which will really help us avoid some of the labor costs. And then our system 3, we're going to try to start adding in AI to just have the computer do everything for us instead of us manually going and checking temperature and pH and nutrient levels. So our competition, so we have AM Hydro, Hermer International, and Hydro Garden. They are our competitors within the hydroponic manufacturing sphere, but how we diversify ourselves from them is they only sell parts, while we will sell full systems. And Mariposa Farms and Urban Greens, they are fellow hydroponic farmers within Iowa, and they don't sell strawberries, they only focus on microgreens and lettuce. So our competitive advantages are we are going to operate on a closed system, which means that all of the temperature controls stay within a certain system, rather than it just heating up the whole space, which will reduce temperature in the greenhouse spaces. Optimal growing conditions with smart control. We'll be able to operate our hydroponic systems through a tablet. And AI self-monitoring data collection, just letting us know what kind of pain points are within our system and what we can do better on and fix our system. And then smart harvest, reducing the harvest costs and making harvesting useful. So our prototype this is our current hydroponic system. It's a two-plant deep water culture system. Those are 2 strawberry plants. This is in a spare room in my house. We've had the plants for about 2 weeks now. They're still growing strong. We're seeing some new growth. And so for our revenue, how would people make our money? So our initial sale is when we sell strawberries, local, organic, hydroponic strawberries. We're going to sell them at $5 a pound. That is a premium price, only because we can sell them all throughout the year instead of just being able to sell them like other strawberry farmers. And then later on, the sale of hydroponic systems, we're guessing around $500,000. That's a lot, but at the same time, we're going to give you the tools to operate a hydroponic system, the full hydroponic systems itself, rather than you going out and trying to buy piece by piece. And so through customer discovery interviews, we talked to 5 different grocery stores, all located here in Iowa City. They all confirmed that they do want strawberries. They're in very high demand in the wintertime because no one else can produce them. And then we have done 1 customer discovery interview with a hydroponic farmer. He really emphasized on wanting to diversify his crop, looking to reduce labor costs, and reduce heat and grow spaces. So our go-to-market plan right now is to build a hydroponic system, sell our strawberries, and then take the money that we make from selling strawberries and reinvest that back into our business, just so we are less reliant on grant money and venture capitalist money. And then that cycle just kind of continues until we build a system that's good enough for us to license or to take to commercial markets. So our use of funds when we start to acquire and get money, which we're in the process of, is build more sophisticated systems that make it easier for us to use, make it easier for other hydroponic farmers to use. Go to indoor ad conferences to get the word out about us, and hire a more expert staff. And thank you.
What's your timeline as far as you determine your estimated first crop of strawberries? How fast do you turn those crops over? And what kind of revenue is that going to generate? And how soon is that going to get you to your next step in your career?
Okay, great question. So right now, with only two strawberry plants, we won't really be able to sell those strawberries just because it's only 2 pounds of strawberries, and that's going to be hard to sell to like a vendor or even at the farmers market. But other than that, we can get a strawberry crop in every 5 to 6 weeks, and that'll be 24 times 5. That would be our profit. And other than that, we're working on getting grant and funding through money and space through grants. So that's what's going to take us to our next step. And other than that, we're on like an 18 months kind of timeline to build as many different systems as we can, because I'm going to be a senior. Okay. And I don't graduate until December of 2020. So all throughout that time is us trying to do research and design to build the best possible system. So once I graduate, I can go and do this full time.
So is your system built like specifically for strawberries, or is it something that can be used for all different types of agriculture products?
Well, right now we have it designed specifically for strawberries. You can really use hydroponic systems to grow everything. It's just more specifically on the nutrients and the pH level of the water, which causes the crop to grow, and like the heat lamp and temperature control. farmers in Iowa yet, so it'll be interesting to see how that works. Yeah.
It seems like people are becoming more and more engaged with the taste of it, heirloom varieties, these different things. And I've heard, but I'm not for sure, that it kind of can change the flavor and quality of taste if you look at when it's grown in the dirt to when it's grown hydroponically. And so have you found that to be true? And if so, what would you do to combat that?
That's a really good question. So I have tried hydroponic tomatoes, and they were really good. I have heard that from people before that the taste and flavor can go down with using hydroponics. I haven't found that to be true yet, but there has to be some type of way to avoid that problem.
What's the range of the sizes of your system? So like, do you have like a home implementation system where people can grow their own little vegetables, or do you have a warehouse?
No, we're not going to focus on the local kind of home grower because that's not very profitable for us. We're focusing more on the large scale commercial growers, companies that can spend $500,000 to $1 million to look to implement and grow hydroponically. And we're even starting to target farmers who grow traditionally that want to switch over to hydroponics, just so they can produce crops year-round and continue to make money on the off-season rather than just the normal growing season.
Will the later iterations be solar powered? Like, where's the solar in Solarponix?
Oh, okay, yeah. So we get our name Solarponix is because once we start designing our own green spaces, our own grow spaces, they're going to be 100% sustainable. I know a sustainable architect that's going to help us, and we're going to use solar panels to power the entire operation. Just because since we're using a lot of LED lights and a lot of water pumps and a lot of dehumidifiers, utilities can be expensive. So we're going to use solar panels and wind turbines to do that. That's where the solar comes in. Yeah.
We have gone over this, but I would just love a little bit deeper. There are already hydroponic growers that exist. So what differentiates you guys from what already exists on the market?
Well, we're focusing on different crops. So a lot of farms right now, they're already set up for lettuce and microgreens, which is great. You know, everyone loves to have fresh lettuce. But at the same time, we're focusing more on seasonal fruits and vegetables where there's a higher profit margin, just so you can get.
So the setup is pretty much the same, or is it different? Like the way you build it, is that proprietary? The way you actually put together your hydroponic system, or is it just you're starting a hydroponic company in Iowa?
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, yes, our systems are different. We plan on growing differently. We plan on growing vertically and stacking our systems on top of each other, where a lot of lettuce farmers have their grow channels kind of hanging, where that doesn't really work with strawberries that well. They prefer to be laid flat and stacked on top of each other.
Tell us a little bit about your journey. So this is not the idea you started the accelerator.
No.
Tell us a little bit about how you.
So how I got to Solarponix. So starting off with the accelerator, the idea I got into the accelerator with was called All Done. It was a mobile service for homeowners that wanted to get things done on their home. That idea wasn't feasible. We proved that at the Iowa Startup Games. So being in the Hawkeye Summer Accelerator, I was like, okay, I need to start a business. What am I interested in? And what industry do I want to jump into? So I jumped into the solar industry thinking, okay, I love renewable energy, I love sustainability. What can I do within this industry to solve some pain points and make this industry just better? So we tried solar panel cleaning. That was a great business idea, but the weather in Iowa is not necessary. We looked at renewable energy consulting, but I don't really have the technical enough background to do renewable energy consulting. So we scrapped that and moved on to the next. Then we went on to battery leasing. Battery leasing is still a really good idea if you have the know-how and have the capital to do so, just because home battery packs are still very expensive. And if you can lease them and switch them out as new technology comes in, that's a huge market for customers. backtrack that. So this is the 4th business I've tried to start over the summer. Yeah, we started working on this at the beginning of July 1st exactly. And from there, we moved forward. We have an MVP. We're working on getting $5,000 in funding. We're looking to get in our first lab. So our next steps is me getting a bank account, me forming an LLC, us getting our lab space, and me hiring our first 2 or 3 employees, so that we can become an actual operation rather than just kind of a theory. Yep.
Just feedback on the actual presentation. By the way, awesome view. This is great. I found myself though confused if you were the farmer or you were creating a product. As your product that you're creating is a way to fund the product, and I got lost trying to figure out until almost the whole way through that okay, you're saying we're growing this and do it for us, but it was the product itself was kind of lost to the concept. So, but I think it's crazy great.
Yeah, sweet, thank you. Yeah, I should have mentioned that we're kind of a two-sided business opportunity, selling seasonal produce and then selling our hydroponic systems later on. So,
And the people that you're going to sell these systems to, are you going to have off-take agreements for their products, or is that just they have to do all the marketing themselves? Or are you going to help with that?
So we're looking at a couple different models on how we want to sell our systems later on. While I was at OEI, someone mentioned the franchise model to us, which was really interesting because we would kind of build and design the entire systems, and then we would help you kind of find the space, a space like the one we were already growing in, so that we can just replicate our successful system within your space, and then we help you with the marketing, consulting. Because hydroponics are not just kind of an easy sphere to jump into. There's a lot of technical science behind it, and like myself, for example, I'm a business person, I'm not a scientist. So even me learning everything I need to learn was quite difficult. And if we can make that easier for people, then we would see hydroponics be a lot more successful. So we'll be like a full service.
You had talked about grant funding. Could you just talk about that a little more?
Okay, so we're looking to get $1,500 from the ISSF grant. It's a sustainability grant for the future for University of Iowa faculty members. So I'm not a faculty member, I'm a student, I'm an undergrad. So our mentor, Professor Bowden, put us under him on the grant for only $1,500. We're excited about that. He's also doing something with hydroponics. Since we're a business, it works well. We're going to get that, and we're looking to get $3,000 from Iowa JPEG. Just since we're kind of creating a new form of technology within the hydroponics sphere, they're looking to give us money and space for that. Yep.
Have you visited? There's a lot of, so I live in Colorado and I actually worked for a cannabis company there that did all hydroponics. And their fields are huge. And so have you gone on any field trips or gone to any of these, not just, in Colorado, but anywhere that is using these?
Like using the systems themselves?
Right.
No, we haven't gone on an actual field trip. We probably should. I think that'd be very beneficial for us.
Yeah.
I'll schedule one out, but no, we've just done our due diligence on YouTube.
Okay.
Looking at hydroponic systems that way. You can see them. I can see 100 different hydroponic systems and how they operate from my own couch.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would highly recommend going there because I think it would be really beneficial for you to see how they are running their businesses. Just a recommendation.
And then I have a question, piggyback on that. With the legislator allowing 40 acres of land to be grown industrial in a state, how do you kind of think about the idea of actually bringing your system to farmers so that they
so I guess I'll ask the final question. What can we as the community do to help you?
If the community knows anyone that's really good with plants, I'm not a gardener, or if you know someone that has experience doing research and design and kind of project management. That's really it.
Do you have your contact info up there?
Yep. So my phone number is 503-439-5699.